class. Daniel Lewis here, answering in response to our final forum that we have on the topic of burnout. This is an interesting topic. I've definitely heard a lot about this. This is something that my dad was really big on as far as talking to me about burnout and the challenges and the opportunity, how burnout is such a prevalent thing. He really made a point to help me in terms of burnout and overtraining, uh, not to have something like that happen. So that's something that was discussed regularly in the house for me when I was growing up. I know that he had, voiced that there was different times that he had experienced burnout, things like that. So that was something that was really prevalent to him. So I am familiar with the idea of burnout, and I've seen it happen to friends of mine, and I've seen them really feel the emotions, and many of them just quit playing. That's something that I saw. But as far as burnout, personally, I haven't felt it at all that I can really think of, except for there was one time. I think I highlighted. I'm not sure if it was in this class or another class, or maybe it was one of the papers that I wrote. But there was a scenario in my junior year. I was playing quarterback for our high school football team, and we were a pretty good football team in the area. We were tied for second in our district, and we had just played our district rival, who was in first place, and we ended up losing that game. And after losing that game, it was a pretty tough week. My coach is a pretty intense dude, throwing clipboards, screaming, cussing, all over it. And I'm pretty thick-skinned, but it was finally starting to get to me. And at that point in the season, physically, I felt perfectly fine. Intensity-wise, training, I was going through regular practice regimen. I was doing everything you're supposed to do. So nothing along those lines as far as physically burned out. Felt perfectly fine. But psychologically is how I was starting to get burned out at that point. Just the consistent the way the coach was with me, always screaming and cussing, and nothing could be done right. It's not that. I guess it was just the feeling, just of consistent pressure that he had applied, I had applied, all of the above, just really started to get to me. And during that week of practice, there was something that happened. I don't even know. I can't remember anything. I just remember emotionally I had had it. So I walked out, went to the locker room, chilled out for a little bit, cooled off, and then was able to come back out. But ultimately, that had a lot of implications. I ended up transferring schools as a result of that. Went to a different high school for my senior year because that was just something that I didn't want to be a part of anymore. I didn't want to experience burnout. I didn't know if it was the coach's fault. Funny thing is, the school I went to had an even crazier coach, but you know what? Hey, that's what happens. So maybe it helped me out, get me better for it. And then the next college I went to had an even crazier coach. So, and it just went up and up each and every year. But as far as how long did I feel that way, I guess you could say probably the entire season. Anytime we had a loss, we had 3 losses on the year, so things were getting a little crazy after each of those losses. That was the unfortunate part. So they didn't occur suddenly, so everything took over time. But that would probably be one of the times that I experienced burnout. Was when the emotions were really high and really hitting me. Other than that, I can't really think of a whole lot of times. But appreciate your time. I look forward to hearing you guys' responses. Take it easy.